Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really gripping and honestly, absolutely crucial narrative drawn straight from the source material, The Cost of a Second, A Safety Reflection. We're going to be looking at exactly how fast a completely routine day can just flip, turning into a life-altering event. It's this fascinating look at human nature, the hidden dangers hiding in our daily routines, and those literal split-second decisions that totally define workplace safety. I'm incredibly excited to guide you through this analysis because it just beautifully breaks down the anatomy of what safety experts call a near miss.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What is the cost of a single second? It's a pretty profound question, right? It's something we practically never ask ourselves when we're just rushing to get through our busy days, checking off tasks, constantly moving from one thing to the next. But as we're going to see from the real-life timeline we're analyzing today, the answer to that question is absolutely staggering.
To answer that, let's drop right into our first section, the shattered second. I really want you to picture this scene with me. It's just a standard morning shift inside a super busy window manufacturing factory. You've got that continuous, rhythmic echo of heavy machines humming in the background. Everything seems perfectly, totally normal. But then, an unnoticed tiny crack in a pane of glass silently triggers a violent reaction. The glass shatters. Sharp fragments literally explode into the air. Just imagine the sheer speed of this. One moment, routine factory noise. The very next millisecond, jagged projectiles are flying everywhere. One piece instantly slices a worker's finger. But much, much worse, another razor-sharp shard flies directly toward her face. And this brilliantly illustrates the terrifyingly thin line between a close call and a massive disaster. We are talking about a difference of just a few centimeters here. At the very last possible second, our worker instinctively turned her head away. That single, totally instinctual flinch, it saved her eyesight. Compare that to the alternative, a direct impact. A direct impact would have meant absolute tragedy. We're talking irreversible damage and a life completely forever altered. Let's move into our next section, just one piece. To truly wrap our heads around how we got to that terrifying explosion, we kind of need to hit pause, step back, and rewind the clock to look at the psychological trap that set this whole near miss in motion. Let's look at the person at the center of this. Her name is Naran. She's a 27-year-old skilled glass cutter. And notice the emphasis in our source text here. She is hardworking, highly experienced, and known for being incredibly fast at her job. I really want to highlight this because it proves that accidents don't just happen to the new guy. Right? This isn't a rookie making a beginner's mistake. But on this particular day, Naran was in a hurry. And because she was rushing, she suddenly realized she'd forgotten her protective gloves and her safety glasses. So the crucial point is this exact internal justification. It's just one piece of glass. When Naran realized she didn't have her personal protective equipment, she actually hesitated. She knew she was missing her gear. But then she weighed the time it would take to walk all the way back and get it against the seemingly tiny task right in front of her. That single rationalization, it's just one piece, is the universal trap of the experienced, hurried worker. So she began working. Which brings us to our third section, anatomy of a near miss. We've seen the root cause, and we've seen the explosive event itself. Now, let's analyze the direct aftermath and look at the broader implications. This micro-timeline perfectly maps out how incredibly fast a localized incident just spirals outward. Look at how these seconds tick by. At 1 second, the glass shatters and injures Naran. Just 3 seconds in, nearby workers freeze in complete shock. Their focus is totally broken. By 10 seconds, the health, safety, and environmental officer is sprinting over to provide immediate first aid. And within 1 minute, the entire factory operation comes to a dead halt. This perfectly demonstrates the ripple effect. One person's split-second decision to skip their gear instantly impacts coworkers, shuts down all operations, and demands emergency intervention from the whole team. Now, what's really interesting about this stark definition pulled straight from our source material is how profoundly simple it is. A near miss is an incident that ended in luck. That's it. It wasn't Naran's skill as a glass cutter, and it wasn't her years of experience that saved her from going blind in that moment. It was pure, unadulterated luck. Luck was literally the only barrier standing between her and an irreversible tragedy. Let's step back from the adrenaline of the factory floor for a minute. After work, Naran sat alone, and the text notes that, for the very first time that day, she truly felt afraid. Her post-shift reflections revealed this massive shift in her mindset. First, she realized that protective equipment is not just some annoying corporate rule, it actively protects life. Second, she acknowledged the danger of pace. The more we rush, the more likely we are to make mistakes.
And finally, she understood that ripple effect we just talked about. Her actions could have harmed her coworkers, not just herself. When those shards of glass exploded, anyone standing nearby could have paid the ultimate price for her missing glasses. This deeply personal realization leads us right into our final section: every task, every time. So how do we actually take Neuron's harrowing lesson and apply it to our own daily routines? How do we ensure we aren't leaving our safety and the safety of everyone around us completely up to a roll of the dice? Well, it all comes back to this number: 1. 1 single second. That is literally all it takes to change a life forever. It represents the ultimate cost of rushing. Whether it's one piece of glass, one quick shortcut, or just one moment of distraction, the consequence can unfold in just one solitary second. Let's see how this builds into an actionable daily philosophy. The source material leaves us with this powerful, highly structured safety mantra. Step 1, wear your protective equipment. Step 2, work safely. Step 3, every day. Step 4, every task. And step 5, every time. Notice the absolute finality of that. There are no exceptions for just one piece. There is no skipping steps because you're fast or you're experienced or you're just in a huge hurry. Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought to close out our explainer today. Naren survived her near miss because she turned her head away at the very last possible millisecond. She got lucky. But as you reflect on your own routines, your own quick shortcuts, and your own moments of rushing to get the job done, you really have to ask yourself, next time, will luck be there?